Hi, my name is Victory and welcome to my channel. If today is your first time, please click on the subscribe button and also on the notification bell so that every time I upload my fabulous videos, you'll be the very first to be notified. Okay, I will continue part 2 of the topic estimated cost in Naira for the express entry Canadian immigration route. We have established that everyone wants to know how much will it cost for them to start and finish the express entry Canadian immigration route. Okay, in my other video, you must watch it, fabulous. I talked about the pre-express entry profile creation costs. What will it cost you to get all the documents that you need in order to create an express entry profile? And what I forgot to mention, a very important document that you also need, you definitely need for your express entry. I took for granted that everybody has an international passport, but actually not everybody has one. So in addition to the $800 for the express entry pre-ITA cost in my last video, we'll be adding the cost for an international passport. On the website, it says it's $17,000 for an adult, but I had a friend that just got their passport done and they paid $27,000, both adult and children at the same amount for the new passport. So we'll be working with $100. And another big change, in my last video, we were working with 280 Naira to $1 Canadian exchange rate, as I saw on the S.E Exchanger's website. But actually, someone paid yesterday on the 9th of January 2020. They paid CIC for an application and the rate was not at all, it was not 280 at all. So for this calculation, we'll be using the rate that CIC charges if you pay with your Naira Nigerian card, and the rate was 286.5, which is approximately 287. So that's the rate we'll be working with for this video. Okay, in this video, we will be looking at the post-ITA cost. This is after you have applied, you have opened your express entry profile. Once you receive an ITA, you have been invited by the government of Canada to apply for a permanent resident. Fantastic news. Then comes all this next expenses we'll be discussing. Okay, the first three, which you will pay to the government of Canada, CIC, is one, biometrics. Biometrics is just a big name for picture and fingerprint capturing used for both the application and entry into Canada. This is done at the VFS, okay? And you pay, but you pay to CIC for it. Then the next cost you're going to incur is your medicals, especially if you do upfront medical, that's before your application medical. You have to go to a government approved medical center, which for Nigeria is IOM, and you pay for an adult from 15 years upward is 45,500 Naira, which translates to 159 Canadian dollars. You pay for that, get your medicals done, get the document you will use in submitting for your PR. Okay, the next cost is your police clearance. CIC expects you to have a police clearance for every country you have lived for more than 6 months in the most recent 5 years before this application. So, but I will work on the basis that you are just getting for Nigeria, you haven't lived any other place longer than 6 months. So if that's the case, then police clearance will be 10,000 Naira. And you pay this at the police office, the police headquarters, or whichever police station is close to you. You go pay, do your fingerprints, and wait for 5 working days maximum, as I know it, for your police clearance certificate. This is to show you don't have criminal record or any fraudulent record in your country. So $10,000 translates to 35 35 Canadian dollars. Okay. Then the next cost for this process is the express entry application fee. This is also paid to CIC. It's part of the three I said you paid directly to CIC, which is 550 Canadian dollars, translating to 157,850 using our 287 exchange rate. Then the next cost you incur is the rights of permanent residency fee. This is also paid to CIC directly. This is the fee that covers when you have been given your PRO. Every administrative cost is covered in this 490. So that translates to 140,630 Naira. So the total amount that goes directly to CIC in this category of post-ITA cost is 1,125 Canadian dollars. This you're expected to pay from your Nigerian card if you're applying directly online. But if you're applying at the VFS, you can also pay with your card. So 1,125 times 287 equals 322,875. This is what goes directly to CIC. Okay, remember I said you must always add miscellaneous fund in every calculation you do. This will cover, you'll be running around a lot. There's so many things that you need to do. Sometimes some of the documents you need to notarize it, so you have to pay for the notaries. A lot of things you have to do. You have to have affidavit. If any of these documents are missing, you have to get a quartered affidavit for it. So in your miscellaneous fund, you cover transportation and every other cost that is unforeseen as per this calculation. So in order to get a round figure, I will add 181 Canadian dollars to be our miscellaneous allowance, and that will give us 52,125 Naira. Okay, that brings this post-ITA cost to a minimum of, or to a total of 1,500 Canadian dollars, and at 287 exchange rate, that will translate to 430,500. This is the cost that we estimate to cost you to have every document ready and apply for your PR. Once again, I hear you saying, what? That's a lot. But if you have come this far, to be asked to apply, then there is no going back. You might as well gradually gather your funds in preparation so that when you get to this point, they give you only 60 days to apply. And within that 60 days, you're supposed to have all your documents ready and submit your application. So that you do not miss it, you must start saving, so that this is the whole point of this video, to know how much to save in advance in preparation. That's it for this video. In my next video, we will bring it all together. The pre-ITA cost, the post-ITA cost, and other costs that you definitely need in making this journey to Canada. Everything. We'll look at the cost of provincial nomination if someone wants to apply for that. We'll look at, and very importantly, settlement fund. This is the amount that CIC requires that you must have. In fact, it's very important because you are supposed to add this as documents that you will submit for your PR. They call it proof of fund. You must have a proof that you have the money to take care of yourself when you get to Canada for the first few months before you get a job So that fund is really important. In fact, a lot of people's permanent residence application is rejected if they are not convinced that you have this fund. So we'll talk about it in the next video, your flight, packing up your things for your trip. Do not miss out. Watch out for my next video. If you have loved this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your time.